I'm Steve Wilkerson, and I'm with Jim Saunders, Executive Editor of the News Service of Florida. Jim, Lieutenant Governor Jennifer Carroll resigned about 2 months ago, and Governor Rick Scott has yet to replace her. What are the rumors going about town here about who he might choose and why it's taking so long?
Well, there's a lot of chatter, but not a lot of good information at this point because he's being pretty close to the vest about it. But he has gone more than 2 months, so people are starting to speculate who he may select. Among the names that have been tossed around for a while is Senator Anna Terry Flores from Miami. Also, another one that's gotten a little bit of rumble is Senator John Thrasher from St. Augustine, who's one of the longest-serving legislators, former House Speaker, very well known. But no one really knows what the governor's thinking at this point, at least publicly.
Well, perhaps he doesn't need a lieutenant governor. What do you think?
Well, you know, he's gone more than 2 months, and he really hasn't shown any willingness to, or any great need for a lieutenant governor. Legally, he has to appoint one at some point, so it will happen. The timing of it, though, is unclear, and he hasn't been in a hurry. One thing to watch, though, is that he is going to be really ramping up his re-election campaign pretty soon. So he's going to have to, the lieutenant governor will be a factor in that. He'll be looking for someone who would enhance the ticket.
More attention recently has been paid to an issue that bubbles up from time to time in Florida, and that's the death penalty. Death penalty opponents have been saying perhaps that the governor has been ramping up the schedule for basically the schedule of executions. And also there's a piece of legislation awaiting his approval or veto regarding the death penalty. So death penalty opponents are beginning to get more active. Talk about that. Well,
Governor Scott clearly has shown that he's willing to sign death warrants and essentially have people executed. There was one execution last week, and he's got 2 more death warrants that he's already signed that in the next, I think it's 5 or 6 weeks, that he's going to, or at least are planned to be carried out. Both of them are fairly high-profile cases. One of them is a guy who murdered women in Miami and then in Columbia County up by Lake City. Another one was sentenced to death for his part in the killing of a corrections officer. Both of them have been, fairly well known over the years. The governor has, as I said, he's clearly shown that he is willing to, to carry out the death penalty. The legislature passed a bill that is awaiting the governor's action that attempts to speed up the appeals process. Some of these people have been on death row for 25, 30 years or even more, and the legislature is trying to take steps, or at least they say, to try to cut down on the appeals that play out over in numerous chapters over numerous years.
Thank you, Jim. For more news about Florida politics and government, visit the Advances section of our website.